Live from Miami, last Sunday it was David Martinez and Tino Guilarans. The previous fight to that, big name Javier Reyes from Bogota, Colombia made an impression. Who's it going to be tonight? It's going to be somebody. Might be a couple folks. That's why you have to watch the width and breadth of our coverage of Combate Global here on Paramount Plus. The walk-in into the jaula, and the action will be starting shortly, and you don't want to miss a minute of it. As we go to the head-to-head, both very young in this game. Mazzetti 4 years the younger. He has 1 inch in the height, 1 inch via the reach. We are in the lightweight division. Both these fighters making weight. We're ready, you're ready. Lupe Contreras is ready. Let's go.
Continuamos con mucha más acción. 3 vueltas, división peso ligero. We continue with much more action. 3 rounds in the lightweight division. Los jueces, the judges. Dorian Mirasola, Lorenzo Toledo and James Lázaro. Y ahora, damas y caballeros, llegó el momento de un combate global. En la esquina azul, vestido de amarillo, in the blue corner, wearing yellow. Su peso oficial, 154 libras y media. His official weight, 154.5 pounds. Esta noche se lanza a las grandes ligas de las artes marciales mixtas. Dentro de la jaula de Combate Global. Tonight, he makes the leap into the big leagues of MMA inside of la jaula. De Gran Canaria, España, David Ruiz. Su oponente en la esquina roja, vestido de rojo con blanco. His opponent in the red corner, wearing red with white. Su peso oficial, 154 libras y un cuarto. He weighed in officially at 154.25 pounds. Like his opponent, tonight he is making his pro debut inside of la jaula. Igual que su rival, esta noche debuta dentro de la jaula. De Lima, Perú, Gabriel, best of the best, Mazzetti. El referee, Andrew Glenn.
Andrew Glenn, the third inside the jaula in a matchup that neither of these fighters will forget, because you never forget the first time. The best of the best. How about that nickname for Gabriel Mazzetti? Already endearing himself to an American public.
Any questions? Follow my instructions, protect yourself. If you want to touch, do it now. Step back, ready at the bell. Step all the way back, all the way back.
So when you see some fighters, one is his K1, one is Muay Thai, what does it tell you this fight's going to go?
Oh, this fight's not touching the ground unless someone's going to sleep, and I'm all here for it.
You ready?
There is David Ruiz in the yellow, representing the Spanish flag. It's my favorite short, that yellow and the red. And it will be Mazzetti. We have Marlon Gonzalez representing Peru. We talk about Andrea Solarus fighting June 1st. Peruvian MMA improving by leaps and bounds.
You know, I really like what Mazzetti's doing here. That outside leg kick right away threw Ruiz off, and now he's really, you can already see that left leg getting a little bit of damage, throwing that double jab. He's got to keep Mazzetti moving backwards because those kicks are coming at him, and they're coming at him hard.
They are loud. Mazzetti showing the Muay Thai prowess with the kicking game, kicking that lead leg. Half a dozen one, 6 in the other there on that clash.
Look, I like what he's doing there. He's throwing that push kick, you know, right there, another one, a little cross hook right off of the counter right there. But these guys are both throwing everything that comes at them. You are hearing that slap. Both guys are throwing, trying to end this as early as possible.
Ruiz, a several-time title winner in K1. 50 kickboxing fights. He won 39 of them. 7 defeats, 4 ties. And you can see with some of the impact on those kicks, they are loud and they sting.
What's interesting in Mazzetti, though, he's not showing any emotion on his face for a guy that young. And like we talked about, he's been doing this since he's 15, and it shows. No emotion. He shows no pain anytime that kick is hitting him, and he is just so poised. That left hand's a little low, so I would not be surprised if Ruiz throws a right high kick and it catches him. But right now, both guys are just landing these kicks, and every one of them sounds like it hurts.
That was good from high, low then high there for Mazzetti. both getting their kicks in.
You know, it's amazing, Max. Just because you block it does not mean it does not hurt. Those arms will take a beating. It's better than getting hit in the head. But as you can see right there, Ruiz's right shoulder, it's starting to get a little bit red. I'm curious to see how that impacts him with his strikes down the line.
He is a prolific striker, Mazzetti, at the age of 24. You look at the strike counts in his fights, they are astronomical, and he had his first big pro fight in Muay Thai. We talked about 15, at 19 he was a full pro. His career just getting started, but even at 24, you could see what he has done to get here. It is significant.
Without a doubt, you know, for a look at that one. You know, for a kid that age, he is just showing such maturity. He's not overcommitting to any punches. He's not throwing everything into every shot, which can tire you out. He is letting the punches flow. He's letting it come to him. He's throwing some nice kicks. And an interesting takedown right there with the head for a guy that's known for his striking.
He might get down. And there's no counter-punching. Both these guys are trying to be the first. As Mazzetti's got right underneath that arm.
And sometimes that'll happen. You get two guys that they're striking might neutralize each other, end up in a clinch, and it's curious to see which one of them kind of reaches, digs deep, and gets a little bit of a takedown. But right there, the clinch, the knees, that's where the Muay Thai comes in. And we like what Mazzetti's doing right there.
The Muay Thai clinch for a moment there. Ruiz pushed away. Black belt in kickboxing. I mean, he is illustrious in the kickboxing game, and that's huge in MMA, but you need more. And we'll see if he's able to show a wrinkle here or two in transitions. So we remain on the feet.
You know what, I agree with you. I'd be curious to see if Mazzetti kind of shakes up and shoots in for a takedown. He doesn't necessarily need to, but I think for the first fight, neither one of these guys has to do a little bit of takedown defense. I think they're okay there.
Oof. If there is a discipline where they'd be better in takedown, is it Muay Thai, is it kickboxing, is it a push?
You know what, for me it would be Muay Thai, because when you get in the plum clinch, you can use your knees and you can kind of shift and do some sweeps as opposed to kickboxing. So for me, I would lean there towards Muay Thai. I really love what Mazzetti's doing with that push kick right down the middle. You can see the redness already on Ruiz's face.
Yeah, Mazzetti getting that leg way high. Spinning roundhouse without the kick from Ruiz. He's got some elaborate tattoo work on his back. Short left from Mazzetti.
You know, Max, I was thinking you should get the same thing for your next tattoo. You know,
you know a guy.
Yeah, I might.
At a good price. But that looks expensive.
It does look pretty pricey. You know, right now, what I'm really impressed with both guys is they're maintaining a very solid pace. No one's slowing down, and every time a kick is thrown, you can hear it all the way from across the world.
Yeah, over there in Fort Lauderdale, here in Miami at Univision, the takedown.
There it is.
You called it, and it's the second time, and he's now into the guard of Ruiz.
I think when he felt that throw the first time, I think he felt the strength, I think he felt that angle, and when they got in close, Ruiz's hips were a little bit off, which means it makes it easier for Mazzetti to do a hammer throw like that. And sometimes when it's against a wrestler, they know how to protect from that type of throw, but against a kickboxer, it's usually there.
This is great from Mazzetti, and he might be able to finish the fight, but he's got 15 seconds to go in an action-packed first round.
In a close round like this, the takedown, getting on top, landing that ground and pound, I believe he just stole it. I'm going to say it's 10-9 Mazzetti.
Looks like Ruiz will be saved by the bell, but Mazzetti getting one over in round one. Good-looking fighter. I mean, if you see it, he looks seasoned. He looks like he's ready for this. Doesn't look like he's caught in this moment, and that's not insignificant. This is something that they've had circled on their calendar for a long time.
It's amazing to me still that at age 15 he made that pro debut in Muay Thai, but it shows here. You know, a lot of guys, they make their pro debut, the adrenaline, they have that dump and it impacts them. He took a little bit of a breath, went back to the corner as if it was Wednesday afternoon eating lunch.
Corner there for Ruiz, having a little space there to separate as we look at what happened in the first round. I mean, this was Kickapalooza. So who would be first? We are back now here ready for round two, and we remind everyone, and if you're new to Combate Global, we tell you for the first time, open scoring. We'll get the scores from the judges. Those are the official scores for the fight as we begin round two. And Mazzetti, you mentioned the pro debut at 15, started Muay Thai at 10. This has been his life, and you can see he has contributed to becoming better and better, leading to this.
If you didn't tell me this was his pro debut, I would have never known. He's so composed. I love the way he's throwing his combinations. He keeps his hands up. He protects his chin. He's mixing everything up. He's being extremely unpredictable. And the speed is unbelievable. He just seems to be 1 to 2 steps ahead of Ruiz the entire time.
He almost has that upright Mirko Krokop stance. Not comparing him to Mirko Krokop, but when you see him on that profile, it reminds you a little bit.
I agree, and the way he keeps his lead leg forward, it looks like he's setting up for a high kick. He threw it with the other, there it is, the left high kick right on cue. When they keep that upright stance, usually he's trying to set that up. He'll throw low, and then he'll throw high, which he just did. Now, after he does that, that hook is also available. Ruiz keeps dropping that right hand, but if he keeps doing those leg kicks, at some point, Ruiz is gonna go down.
Mazzetti does get the first round according to all three. Lots of kicks, not a lot of punches. Would you like to see a little bit more activity upstairs?
I would, but I understand what both guys are doing, and I see what Mazzetti's doing. By throwing these kicks, he's just setting up the higher area. As you can see, we talked about this a second ago. He is just using those leg kicks to try and slow Ruiz down. Therefore, he can take over. He gets close to the clinch. He throws those elbows. And look, right here, there's the elbow right there. He's just setting it up. He's being so slow with it, and it looks like he's about to finish.
Mazzetti's going to win this in round 2. Ruiz unable to respond. He took a knee. Just too much punishment, and Ian, we saw it with Mazzetti. These were kicks with impact. These were kicks with venom, and he has busted Ruiz open. He could take no more.
Not too bad for a pro debut. A knockout, bloodied his opponent, and he was just so meticulous in his attack. He doesn't even look like he's out of breath. We talked about Combate building stars from the ground up. Max, I think we got a star right here.
We'll see if he fights. This was a good matchup because he's fighting another stand-up fighter, so he could unleash his Muay Thai skills. He'll fight different fighters in the future, but 1-0, and the first one looked fantastic.
Those elbows in the clinch were absolutely devastating. He was throwing them in the first round. He kept getting in there. It was mainly from the left side. He just saw the opening, and at that point, Ruiz was done. It was that left elbow right there, one, and the second one, and he was all done.
There was that left elbow. That's what opened him up and forced Ruiz to take a knee and say, no mas. And look, he is clean as a whistle. Gabriel Mazzetti, remember the name. You'll see him again sooner than later here on Combate Global. We'll get the official decision next. Lots of blood there in the corner, and they're doing the best to stop the bleeding here from Ruiz. I mean, he's all right. I mean, he was pretty game, but I mean, you could do so much when you're receiving those kind of kicks and those elbows. The elbows which finally did him in.
Yeah, listen, you can only take so many to the temple. That's a soft spot right there, and the damage was there. Look at his body all rented up from those kicks. Look, Mazzetti was just a better guy tonight. He came in, he showed that power. That's a nasty cut on Ruiz.
Yeah, well, he'll get some attention. Good-looking guy. It's going to leave him a nice scar. Probably make him even better looking at the end of all that. Mazzetti, Muay Thai, certainly could kick as well, very hard. We'll talk a little bit more about him as we get towards the official decision. Well, there you see David Ruiz. He told us he likes to compete against strikers. He looked comfortable for a bit, but maybe Mazzetti, a different level of striker. Victorious today. He's 1-0. To Lupe we go.
El referee Andrew Glenn detiene el combate con un tiempo oficial de 1 minuto 29 segundos del segundo episodio. Referee Andrew Glenn jumps in and stops this contest with an official time of 1 minute 29 seconds of round number 2, declaring the winner by way of technical knockout, declarando el vencedor por nocaut técnico en su debut profesional, Gabriel, best of the best, Mazzetti.
Young man, now he has to work on it, rounding out his game, because there will be different challenges ahead for him.
I am very curious to see what he does against a wrestler, but look, we take it one step at a time, one fight at a time. Tonight, he was the best of the best in this one, and his striking just looked every bit advertised. I'm excited for his future. Sky's the limit for this kid.
We'll talk to Campbell McLaren and the matchmakers, Tony Padilla, when we'll see him next. Hopefully sooner than later. Much more Combate Global coming your way live on Paramount+. Cleanliness is godliness. The Ghostbusters, as Campbell coined them, still doing a very important job here. As La Jaula there on the set in studios here in Miami. So many memories have been made, the latest from Gabriel Mazzetti. And Peru's 1-0, so the Peruvian fans, wherever they are, got to be pretty happy.
After that performance, how could they not be?
Trying to show some growth here in all the countries, and that's what makes mixed martial arts such an exciting proposition. Inside the jaula, Gabriel Mazzetti, victorious second round stoppage. Technical knockout as his elbow caught David Ruiz. Ruiz, a pretty accomplished guy. He was eager early on as a kickboxer. He figured that'd be an advantage. Little did he know the firepower on the legs of Mazzetti.
Ruiz was game. He was doing really well early on, but after a while, those leg kicks took a toll. Every single time Mazzetti got it tight into the clinch, he threw those elbows. That headlock throw kind of then had Ruiz guessing. He's like, wait a minute, is this Muay Thai guy now going to wrestle me? So when he did that the next time in the tie, he was expecting a head throw. He ended up catching elbows. And my God, was Mazzetti something special tonight. Body kick after body kick, and power for days on this kid.
A guy that you could groom, and obviously the trainers, he trains in Peru. Maybe he gets a little bit more training. He's at Goat Shed Academy in Miami, where he could find the inner workings to be a more all-round fighter. But this, the stand-up game, hugely impressive.
He did everything he was supposed to do. For a kid this young, for his pro debut, I would never have thought otherwise. He looked like a seasoned vet. The composure, he was methodical. He showed high fight IQ.
And always was first. When he did the umpires, he made sure he was getting those strikes in before Ruiz.
Oh, without a doubt. He looked fantastic. He almost looked like he was in the Matrix. He saw everything coming. He responded well. I mean, his accuracy, both guys were extremely accurate, but look at that, the two takedowns. I love what I saw out of Mazzetti. Future's so bright for him.
I think you look at that stat line, and Mazzetti and his trainers would be thrilled. The punches, we knew there weren't a lot. 3 in total. Mazzetti didn't need that, but a work in progress. And the best part of it all, 1-0. Sounds a lot better than 0-1. We'll see David Ruiz. Looks like a game fighter. But now we get ready for our next fight. So much more action coming your way here. Combate Global, worldwide audience. Carlos Cordoba, Moses Diaz is next.
My name is David Zelner. I'm 32 years old from Merritt Island, Florida. I have a very unique fighting style. I take what's given to me. I also like to be creative in there, keep my opponent guessing. All styles, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, striking, whatever I feel is best at the time. The thing that I think would make me different from my opponent is you never know what type of fighter you're gonna get in there. I might wrestle, I might strike. You just don't know. It's a big mystery.
Mi estilo de pelea, pues, es poco ortodoxo, ¿no? Me dicen mucho que solo moverme de un lado para otro, que es muy difícil leerme y que soy muy contundente, muy agresivo. Me gusta mucho presionar, ir hacia enfrente. He tenido oponentes que han dicho que soy el tipo más rudo con el que han peleado, ¿no? Literalmente. Y pues bueno, luego de ver la pelea puedo darme cuenta de por qué lo dijeron. Yo creo que la pelea se va a desarrollar muy pareja. Lo que yo estoy buscando es el knockout en el tercer round. Yo sé que soy mejor que él en el área del striking. Y es ahí donde lo voy a ir frenando, él va a estar intentando derribarme, se va a cansar y finalmente lo voy a noquear.
I'm going to be in his face. I'm going to be right there, making things happen. I have everything it takes to be one of the greatest fighters in the world, and I know this fight's just going to prove that.
David, sé que vienes desde muy lejos y espero haya sido un buen viaje, porque tristemente te voy a noquear.
I like Moses Diaz in this situation here. I just think that the wrestling is there if he wants it, but we all know what he's going to try and do.
Yeah.
He's going to try and go for the knockout.
All even there, 2-inch reach advantage for Cordoba. We're ready to go as we go back inside the jaula and Lupe Contreras.
Este duelo, 3 vueltas, división peso pluma, this bout 3 rounds. In the featherweight division, los jueces son, the judges are Lorenzo Toledo, Byron Sellers y Dorian Mirasola. Y ahora, damas y caballeros, llegó el momento de un combate global. Presentando la esquina azul, vestido de negro, presenting the blue corner, wearing black. Su peso oficial, 145 libras. His official weight, 145 pounds. En 3 combates, mantiene un récord de 1 victoria y 2 derrotas en 3 pro bouts. He maintains a record of 1 victory against 2 losses. Representando a San José, Costa Rica, Carlos, the Costa Rican Killer, Cordoba. En la esquina roja, vestido del tricolor mexicano verde, blanco y rojo, in the red corner, wearing the colors of Mexico, green, white and red. Detuvo la báscula a un peso oficial de 144 libras y media. He tipped the scales at an official 144.5 pounds. Esta noche entra a la jaula buscando mantenerse invicto en 3 combates profesionales. Tonight, he looks to remain undefeated as a pro inside of la jaula with 3 victories. De Glendale, Arizona, Moses Diaz. El referee, Marcos Pérez.
Marcos Pérez, the third inside the jaula.
Espera, un momento. Ok, ya saben las reglas. Quiero una pelea limpia. Protéjanse en todo momento. Choquen cuantos si lo quieren ahorita. Ok, a su esquina.
Getting ready for the second fight of the night. It's going to be a little different than the first. Moses Diaz, steely-eyed. By the way, graduated from the County Sheriff's Office Academy in the Correctionals field, so if you're in Arizona, be careful if you get pulled over. Don't mess around with the authorities.
Especially if they hit like, it's already done. Wow!
Oh my goodness!
Wow!
Right hand!
You know, wow, what a shot from Moses Diaz. An overhand right. Carlos doesn't even know where he is at this point. It happened so fast.
Marcos Perez said it's over. Maybe the quickest fight in Combate Global history. Cordoba walked into a short right hand and it was lights out in London.
The amount of power that Moses Diaz carries is second to none in this division in Combate. Everyone who's watching, that is what we call a star. That was unbelievable. That when they go back and look at the replay, the ref did everything right. It was rightfully stopped. Man, Carlos was face planted into the ground, defenseless. He stopped it at the right time. That was the right stoppage. That was the right stoppage.
Because he was bent over awkwardly. His body, his legs were trapped underneath him. Folks, this is not an isolated incident. Now, he's never won a fight in 5 seconds before, but this is his 3rd round TKO or KO in the first round.
You know what? We said what he was going to be looking for. Now, he did get hit, but he came back. He rolled with the punch and followed up with that overhand right. He landed it clean. Now, I will say, when he landed one of those punches on the ground, it may have woke him back up. But let's take a look at the replay here. Jab got him setting back a little bit. Now, here comes, you ready? Right hand, boom, done. Face planted in the ground right there. The ref's absolutely right to stop it. No defense, no nothing. No reason for any more damage. Unbelievable knockout from Moses Diaz.
Where did the power come from? It was cocked back. There was the daylight and right on the jaw.
Moses Diaz, when he hits you, you go to the shadow realm and you wake up and don't even know what happened.
Did not have to drop a sweat. Dry as a bone. Hair looks good.
Great.
Carlos Cordoba wondering where it went wrong. He'll look at the tape and he'll see it. 6 seconds, the official score. We'll get the officials here. We'll take a quick break, catch your breath. That's what Combate Global is all about. May have made some history here this evening. Moses Diaz, the talk of the town. We'll be back with the official decision. Well, Ian, I know we were talking at the desk before we get dressed up and made up, and we were looking at the card. Now, I was watching some tape of this guy, and I go, man, I saw his first fight. He was knocked down 3 times in the first round against an opponent, and then he came back and laid him out in the second round. He's just a tough dude who could take a punch. We didn't see that here tonight. He just gave it.
Yeah, you know what? Not a whole lot to judge other than, wow. Listen, the first punch he threw, that jab, was spot on, and I figured, all right, when you throw the jab, you're always trying to set up for your cross. But Cordoba did throw a punch that kind of grazed, it looks on his forehead, and see a little bit of a red mark, and he came back and he threw that overhead right, and it was just lights out. Good night.
Moses Diaz, I love how he combed his hair to the left. I mean, there's this aura about him.
Yeah, when he had the fight, he brushed the hair down like he was ready for business. Now with hair back, he's relaxed and ready to win. I understand it.
We'll talk about this. We'll relive those 7 seconds or so, but now to Lupe.
El tiempo oficial. 6 segundos el primer episodio de Official Time. 6 seconds of the opening round. El ganador por knockout. Your winner by way of KO. Still undefeated. Moses Diaz.
Enjoy the moment. I mean, he could fight next week. Obviously, he can't. But I mean, he doesn't need to.
Next week, I was hoping he'd fight again tonight.
Later tonight.
After that performance, I would be all for it.
What an incredible opening salvo in his Combate career. 1-0 in Combate, 4-0. No fight has gone beyond the second round. 3 straight first round KOs. We're going to relive those 6 seconds here shortly to show what Moses. We can't get enough Moses Diaz. I don't want him to leave.
Yeah.
Amateur record, he was 4-0. And it says here on our notes, he has a strong right hand. Accurate research.
That was the best research note I've ever seen in MMA notes and research. You couldn't have been any more right there, Max.
So again, and this is what we gravitate to in Combate, to see guys make an announcement, and we get to hopefully see them again. And there'll be maybe tougher opponents. Carlos Cordoba is no slouch. But he cannot believe, I'm sure, what happened here. This is it.
Don't blink. Boom. Right on the button, and that was all she wrote. What a right hand from Moses Diaz. Unbelievable.
I reached out to our matchmaker, Tony Padilla, and I said, fastest fight? He goes, yes, I believe so. And you're right, he might be able to fight next week. But that's what he says. These fighters are ready. Moses Diaz didn't come to Combate to look pretty and fix his hair. Came here to fight and knock people out, and that's what he did tonight.
But then he did indeed fix his hair.
He did fix his hair. He's got good hair.
He's actually, for the 2 punches he landed, I counted 2 brush strokes with the hair going off to the side. But he earned it.
I was going to say, we could show the stats, but do we really need them on this fight? Congratulations to Moses Diaz. Much more Combate Global coming your way. You don't want to miss. Don't want to blink. As we go to the head-to-head, both these fighters still just getting started. He is a massive lightweight at 6 feet tall, although Matuz has the reach advantage. Was a little bit overweight for the 155 limit, which we did go to a catch weight of 160.
Este duelo a un peso pactado a 160 libras is bound at a catch weight of 160 pounds. Los jueces son, the judges are Byron Sellers, Dorian Mirasola, and James Lázaro. Y ahora, damas y caballeros, llegó el momento de un combate global. En la esquina azul, vestido de negro con verde y rojo en the blue corner, wearing black with green and red. Su peso oficial, 160 libras, his official weight, 160 pounds. Entra por segunda vez a la jaula con récord de una victoria. He enters the jaula for the second time as a pro with a record of 1 victory. De pura sangre tapatía. Fighting out of Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico, José Matuz. Su oponente en la esquina roja, vestido de blanco, his opponent in the red corner, wearing white. Su peso oficial, 159 libras y media, his official weight, 159.5 pounds. Esta noche, debuta dentro de la jaula de Combate Global tonight. Inside of la jaula, he is making his professional debut. De San Pedro, California, Chris, the newborn, Alvidrez.
Let's go.
El referee,
Let's go.
Marcos Pérez.
Marcos Perez, the third inside La Jaula.
You went through the rules, you know the rules. I want a clean fight. Protect yourself at all time, okay? Touch love that you want. Go to your corners.
Alvidrez crouched maybe to hide that 6-foot frame. Some gamesmanship, I am sure.
He's got that look in his eye. He's laser focused. He's ready to fight.
Well, already this evening, we have seen two star-making performances. Second round, or first round knockout there. We just saw it in 5 seconds from Moses Diaz. Gabriel Mazzetti putting David Ruiz down. Impressive. Will we get a third here? And both fighters coming out with the intentions that they want to be number 3.
And go figure, the Muay Thai stand-up guy's the one who gets the first takedown, but then here comes the elbows right now from Alvidrez. Looking great on top. Angles there, the legs are out, hips are there. He is in no danger of getting swept. It's pretty unbelievable he's landing the punch. Now he's got to watch out for the knee bar. He got it there, and he's going to take the back.
He's got the back.
Get that other hook in. Get that other hook in.
That arm preventing it on a rear naked choke attempt, but Alvidrez can be patient. He's got Matuz locked in.
And he listened to his coach. His coach kept saying right there, get that left hook in. Now he's got both hooks in. What he should do next is flatten out. He'll have full control. He can punch. He can go for fish for submissions. And on cue, flattens out his opponent.
When you look at a guy who has got that Muay Thai background, and right at the beginning of the fight, he's showing you his jiu-jitsu, showing his ground game. That's got to be impressive and a bit of a surprise for his opponent. Armbar attempt.
I agree. Now, he did fall off the back, but when he did that, what was impressive is that he transitioned to a triangle choke right away, into an armbar, but now his opponent escaped. He's got to really watch out for the striking that's about to come down on him. He's reaching for the behind the heel, trying to grab the sweep. If he can't get that, he's going to catch a couple punches to the face.
Matuz, his third fight in MMA. We mentioned the victory via DQ against Renteria last time out. That was just a few weeks ago. And now Ron for Alvidrez, all those punches coming through.
It looks like Matuz was kind of complaining of an eye poke. I didn't see anything. I think that was just a really hard punch that's impacting his vision. But Alvidrez is really raining some heavy-duty ground and pound on him, passing into the half right now. He's got full control on top. Love what we see out of the Muay Thai guy right now.
Matuz can't open his eye. He's trying to get to the referee. He's in a lot of pain. And now Alvidrez is running right through that stop sign and going for the finish.
I like what he's doing with the shoulder pressure. He's staying high right here. He's looking for the crucifix, trying to trap that other arm. But right now, Matuz is giving up the back. He can't see that eye is bothering him. He does not want to get hit in the face.
He has some submission victories in his amateur career. And you can hear the corner. He's struggling bad. Alvidrez, his corner, just urging him on to take advantage of this situation.
Right now, he's fishing for that rear naked choke. The arm is, he can't get it under the chin just yet, but Matuz doing a pretty good job. Right back on top, getting position over submission. I like what he's doing there. Oh, it looks like he's got it. He's going hand over fist right there, and there it is.
Alvidrez, one-way traffic. We don't know the severity of that eye poke. Matuz is certainly making it sound like it played a big role here, but Alvidrez, really impressive. 13-0 in the amateur ranks, 1-0 as a professional.
Loved what he did on the ground there. Once he was there between the back, when he was on top, he was fishing for submissions. He was rolling with the transitions. Every time he moved, he was setting something else up right into that rear naked choke. Once it was under, he grabbed the wrist, he squeezed tight, and that was all she wrote.
Fighting out of San Pedro, California there, the harbor city in Los Angeles. His corner now. Very happy. I mean, he's got some great training, Journeys Martial Arts Academy, the Black Rooster Boxing, also Jiu-Jitsu with David Dunfin. He was prepared for this, and he showed a lot on his feet on the ground.
Both guys throwing punches. I like that Alvidrez switched to the double leg right there, got the fights to the ground. And right here is where he looks like he's got it. He misses, but look, right to the triangles we discussed. Very composed, and then into the arm bar. He got swept, he grabbed the heel, he swept back, ended up on top. And those punches were devastating.
By the way, we've seen some good tattoos. Yeah, Matuz has the solar system on his back. We see the ref cam. I'm sorry, the things that I notice, Ian, you'll notice that the more you work with me.
You know what? It's going to make me pay more attention. Next time we interview him, we got to ask the reason why he went for solar system there.
Well, Alvidrez, look at that. He is yoked upstairs, and he is a winner tonight. Chalupe Contreras.
La esquina roja consigue la sumisión Mata León con un tiempo oficial de 2 minutos 48 segundos del primer asalto. The red corner sinks in a rear naked choke, forcing his opponent to tap with an official time of 2 minutes 48 seconds of the opening round. Your winner in his pro debut, the newborn, Alvidrez.
Making 3 young stars to remember here tonight. Answering the bell, literally. And Alvidrez, impressive first round submission victory via rear naked choke, or as they call it in Spanish, the Mate León, which translates into the lion killer. Sounds better in Spanish, I know. We'll be back. More combate. We've seen 3 fighters seize that moment and prove that they are the real thing in the amateurs and so far in the pro.
Kudos to Combate, kudos to Campbell for finding these fighters. They put on a performance so far tonight. You got 2 young guys coming out looking to make a name for themselves, especially a guy in Mazzetti who's been doing this since he's 15 years old. It started off with that first kick. It was heavy. It threw Ruiz off. The push kicks. You talked about the Crow Cop style. I love how you brought that up because he does have that upright and he sets it up to throw that left high kick, which he did many times. The tie clinch, the elbows, the knees. This kid is something special, Max.
Ruiz gave it a real good fight, but then after taking massive power strikes, certainly from the kicks of Mazzetti, he was able to take him down twice. And then look at these things. This is like hard lumber into the midsection, and eventually the elbows, the forearms did in Ruiz as he cut him open with a really nasty cut on his forehead.
He looked unbelievable. Every time he entered, the first thing he thought was elbow, elbow, get in, get out, and that time he just finished it. A couple extra punches just for good measure. Probably not necessary, but hey, he got there before the ref. Kudos to Mazzetti. What a fight for him. What a pro debut.
Well, Ruiz was turtled up. He was checking out on this fight, knowing he was going to be second best. Fantastic debut. It's one thing to get a victory, but to do it in style. And that just got us started. And we would ask ourselves, could it happen again? Well, yes, and it happened even quicker. As and I always tell you folks, don't wait for the main event. Stick around for the preliminary fights because A, you're going to see stars of tomorrow, and you'll get action-packed fights, which we certainly, I can't, look, and I always say that, Ian, but I can't remember 3 fights like this.
No, look, what more can you possibly ask for? First round, even when Mazzetti Ruiz was exciting. It was fast-paced, strikes, both guys throwing heavy kicks, and then you get a second round finish. Then you look at someone at Moses Diaz. Forget the second round or third round. We barely even touched the first round with that overhand right knockout. And then Alvidrez gets it done the first round as well. Don't blink and don't sleep on the prelims.
Prelims, these are fighters that you'll probably see on the main card if they continue to go. So Gabriel Mazzetti victorious, and now we await what happens next. What happened next on our card was Carlos Cordoba fighting out of Costa Rica and Moses Diaz, and as we touched on in our fight notes, it said Moses Diaz has a strong right hand, and, well, it's the truth.
Maybe even an understatement.
Maybe an understatement. A deadly right hand.
That right hand came with the power of everything that he possibly had in him, put his opponent to sleep. 5 seconds was all he needed. And you're talking about someone who usually relies on their wrestling to set up the striking. He didn't need to. All it took was one jab and then lights out for his opponent.
This in the featherweight division. Moses Diaz, not a big featherweight, but he is dominant. 4-0, 3 straight first round finishes. Fix the hair! Fix the hair, Moses! He doesn't need to, it's perfect.
Perfect. Perfect performance, perfect hair, star.
And we look for it. He's the kind of fighter I think people can get behind because he's very relatable. You see him, he's like, he's stocky, he looks like the everyman, and then he's just tough as nails.
Except when he did the walkout. The hair was down, he looked mean.
He looked mean.
That punch was meaner, but outside of that, once he won, he looked like the happiest, nicest guy on planet Earth.
Did not crack a smile in the walkouts, and then it started to creep on. I'm sure wherever he is now, he's got a big grin knowing he made some history inside La Jaula with what is being called a 6-second knockout right from the opening bell as he put down Carlos Cordoba. A couple jabs, and then that right cross, it was over.
You know, it was unbelievable. He landed right on the button. It's almost like he seemed like he knew exactly what he wanted to do. And his opponent came out firing away. He didn't shy away. He wasn't scared of the power, but he sure as heck felt the power.
So many fantastic fighters at 145. And who wants to get that heat from Moses Diaz? Somebody will. We look forward to it. Next fight, Jose Matuz, representing Guadalajara, versus Chris Alvidrez, Los Angeles fighter. And this one, we saw Alvidrez, who was a decorated Muay Thai fighter, get to the ground, and that's where he did the damage.
This fight started off very fast. Matuz charged at him, landed a few punches, and then surprisingly, we saw the ground game of Alvidrez. He took the fight to the floor. He transitioned from the back. When he got swept, he went to a triangle, to an arm bar. Then he went back to his back. Then he got a sweep, got on top. And after that, it was about the ground and pound, the position. And then once he took the back the final time, he sunk in that rear naked choke. Once it was under the jaw, that was it. He got the win.
Held that rear naked choke an extra second after the tap.
Just to let him know he was there.
Just to let him know he was there.
Yeah.
Matuz was complaining about a shot to the eye. We didn't see it. Talked to the referees. Referees didn't see it. Marcos Perez and Alvidrez hooded up and ready for what's next. The kids are being served at 25 years of age. Alvidrez. This is his fourth fight in Combate Global, so he knows the jaula. He knows what to do here, and he's fought some big-time opponents. Tonight it's David Zelner, who at 32 is just 2-0 in his pro career, late bloomer, if you will. You can see he has the 2-inch height advantage, 1-inch via the reach. We're in the featherweight division. Let's go to Lupe Contreras.
Las reglas oficiales de la jaula, 3 vueltas de 5 minutos, 3 jueces utilizando el sistema de 10 puntos. Este duelo, división peso pluma this bout. In the featherweight division, los jueces son, the judges are James Lázaro, Lorenzo Toledo y Byron Sellers. Y ahora, damas y caballeros, llegó el momento de un combate global. Presentando la esquina azul, vestido de blanco con rojo y azul, presenting the blue corner, wearing red, white, and blue. Su peso oficial, 145 libras y un cuarto, his official weight, 145 1/4 pounds. Esta noche entra a la jaula buscando mantenerse invicto con 2 victorias profesionales. Tonight, he enters la jaula looking to remain undefeated with 2 pro victories. Fighting out of Merritt Island, Florida, David DZ Machine Zelner. Su oponente en la esquina roja, vestido de negro con verde y rojo, his opponent in the red corner, wearing black with green and red. Detuvo la báscula a un peso idéntico de 145 libras y un cuarto. He tipped the scales at an identical 145 1/4 pounds. Entra por séptima ocasión a la jaula con 3 victorias y 3 derrotas. He enters la jaula for the 7th time as a pro with 3 victories against 3 losses. De Mexicali, Baja California, México, Ramon Wild Boy Vizcarra. El referee, Andrew Glenn.
Andrew Glenn, the third inside la jaula.
All right, gentlemen, got the rules in the back. Got any questions? Follow my instructions, protect yourself. I tell you to stop or break, do it immediately. Touch if you want, step back, ready at the bell.
Zelner in the red, white, and blue. We just can't put our finger on him, Ian.
You know what? I'm getting Nick Diaz vibes here. He's got that relaxed look. He's got that tough guy look to him. Even the way he's moving around, he's just so loose and confident. Let's see if he really gets in his face early.
He is the East Coast Nate Diaz fighting Ramon Vizcarra. He's from Merritt Island, Florida, which is on the east coast of the state, not too far from Orlando. Orlando landlocked. Many people don't know that. In a state as thin as Florida, but there you have it. Vizcarra trying to take the center of the jaula. This is his first fight since September of last year. He was 0-2, both going via decision for Combate.
That was a nice body kick landed by Zelner right there. You know, it's interesting that Vizcarra, someone who's mainly into Muay Thai, is doing a lot of lateral movement instead of back and forth where he could use that push kick. But I love that Zelner is taking the angle. He's cutting off the cage. That's the second body kick he hit in a row. So far, he did exactly what he said he was going to do, move forward, but then a nice kick from Vizcarra right there.
You asked Zelner in our pre-fight show your first 2 victories, which are 2 in his professional career. submission rear naked choke. Are we going to see that today? He said second round finish.
He did. He told us a second round finish. And listen, this is somebody who's very well rounded. He told us he will take what's given. That was a beautiful double leg on the entry right there. All he's got to do is got to bring the legs a little bit closer. And even if he turns to his right now, which he does against the cage, gets the hips and puts Vizcarra right on his backside against the cage.
Zelner DZ Machine. He looks bigger and he looks stronger than Vizcarra. We've seen Vizcarra, I believe, fight at flyweight. This is at 145. So a big jump. I mean, he did fight Ernesto Ibarra, who is on the roster of Combate Global as a flyweight. That was back in February of 2019.
Right now, Zelner did exactly what he needed to do. He passed the legs. He's sitting in mount, full control. If he gets his legs underneath Vizcarra, then he really has nowhere to go. His legs are, and on cue he does it. He's trapped. Vizcarra can't even use the cage to get up. Zelner right now has just got to be patient, eventually turn to the left side to bring him down, put him flat on his back, and then he'll have complete full control on the mount and be able to do pretty much whatever he wants.
And a lot of time in this opening round as he's clearing the guard of Vizcarra. Vizcarra in big trouble. That's a big featherweight as Vizcarra adjusts.
Excellent stand-up right there.
And listening to his corner, he said knee, didn't get the elbow in though.
You know what, he didn't, but he needed to get out of that position. He exploded at the right time, and now he's in 50-50 clinch. He's got to circle out and create distance and allow himself to get his kicking game going, because right now, Zelner is doing exactly what he said he was going to do to us, get in the face, be a pressure fighter, and use his wrestling if need be.
David Zelner, we had a chance to talk to him about his love of chess. He started playing at the age of 4, and he learned it from his father, and he says it's a big part in his preparation for mixed martial arts. He points out the similarities in the two disciplines, if we can call chess that. You don't make fun of chess around Zelner, because he will talk about how there are similar patterns. You have to recognize what's happening with your opponent and react. It works for him.
And you know what? At 2-0, who's going to tell him otherwise? And right now, the way he is playing this fight, he is doing it like a chess match. He keeps moving his position. He's staying out of a lot of danger. We talked about the guillotine of Vizcarra early in this fight. He threatened it for a second. He shifted to the other side, Zelner, and he got out of trouble. And now they're back on their feet at distance and back to striking.
Zelner, with the stand-up, he looks like a smaller Alexander Gustafsson with that beard and the blonde locks.
He kind of does. That was a nice little counter left right there from Vizcarra. Maybe that'll give him a little bit of confidence. He's doing a lot of ring. Nice right hand rim and an uppercut. Wow.
Zelner with some heavy hands. He's fighting a really good fight. Vizcarra fighting back, though. 1:20 to go in this opening round.
Every time Vizcarra comes forward, he has success. When he backs up and moves lateral, he allows Zelner to move forward. Another great jab, and Zelner is not afraid of the power. He's just cutting angles. He's doing what he needs to do. I really love that uppercut before. It's there for him each time.
Good jabs by Zelner. He's not used them as frequently, but it's worked. Vizcarra shoots himself out of a cannon with a variety of strikes. Not many hurting Zelner, but it's something, and he gets the center of the jaula.
I really like when Vizcarra does that. He comes forward, and to your point, Max, it's not necessarily doing damage, but it's landing, it's throwing Zelner off, it's taking him off the offense, it's making Zelner play a little bit of defense, making it become a little bit more unpredictable, and right now they are fighting in a phone booth every time they get close to the cage.
I mean, Zelner just looks huge in comparison. Missed with that left-handed cross. If one of those connect, it could be lights out for Vizcarra as a massive run of punches. Short jab works. That one rocked Vizcarra. Vizcarra goes upstairs. 20 seconds here.
I really like when Zelner leaves right there with the jab. Next time when he leaves the jab, if you watch, Vizcarra's hands both goes up. It's making him susceptible to getting taken down. I'm curious to see if Zelner used that ground game a little bit more in the second round.
He's going to go to a second round. Vizcarra feeling the strength of Zelner, who finishes his first round with some power strikes.
I really think he loves doing this. He's born for this. This guy's amazing.
Did show some emotion. When you asked the question, a little grin came on his face. So it just leaves me as a guy I want to know more about. There's something ticking inside his head which is interesting.
He seems so simple yet so complex at the same time. And I did get him to smirk, so 10-9 me in the interview.
Interviews don't count. If they would, maybe we'd have a different fight game.
I think right now what Vizcarra's corner's got to tell him is when you're pressuring and moving forward, you are landing, you are winning. But when he's on his back foot, he allows Zelner to push forward, land the punches, and here comes that uppercut, boom, right on the button there with the follow-up left hook.
That was a really nice uppercut, maybe the best punch of that first round for Zelner. A round where he saw a lot of punches, just trying to get inside Vizcarra, who didn't quite let him. Those punches not very direct, maybe just tighten them up, sharpen up for Zelner, and he might have something here in round 2, which is where he predicted this fight would end.
You ready?
We'll see if he is Nostradamus. Nostradamus, by the way, not right all the time.
Not all the time.
I was reading a book. Not right all the time, but right on the big ones.
Well, we'll see. We got 4 minutes and 52 seconds left to see if he is that type of prediction expert. But you know what? He talked about really, he was comfortable wherever the fight would be. He looks great on the feet right now. You know, if he wants a takedowns, if he feels like Vizcarra's landing a little too much, then I understand. But those kicks soften it up. But again, we talked about Vizcarra. Every time he comes forward, he lands. He should keep pressuring. He's having success.
Zelner very well grounded as he goes for the takedown. Max Bretos and Ian Parker. Hope you're enjoying Ian joining us here in the booth. Rodolfo Roman, I know, watching at home, enjoying all the action, as is Campbell McLaren. I hope you guys are joining Ian. I know I am. He's having a great time with you here in the booth.
Thanks, Max. I'm having a great time tonight. The fights have been great. You're great company, of course. And these fights have just been exciting.
That's official scoring. That is what the judges saw in round 1, all 3 of them going for Zelner.
And you know what, I agree with that. I felt he landed the more damaging punches. He had the ground control. He had the takedowns. He did stuff with the takedowns. He didn't just sit there. He was advancing position. He was landing strikes. But right now, this is still anyone's fight right now in the 50-50 position, and Vizcarra is having success on the feet.
He is locking in Zelner. He's got good balance with the arms as he goes underneath. Now they separate. In there at the clinch for a moment. Vizcarra with a power kick catching the lead leg of Zelner.
You cannot tell that that was as loud as it was by the look on Zelner's face. He just shows
walked right through
zero motion, just walked right through it. I expect him to shoot for another takedown. I think Vizcarra is landing a little bit more than he probably likes in this round. And I think that's where the biggest disparity is if Zelner puts him on his back.
Changing stances here.
That was a nice push kick right to the stomach.
Vizcarra trying to see if he can get that left hand with the power punches.
I'm telling you, Vizcarra.
Oh, a little question mark asked.
Right, right on the button there, and Zelner just walks through it.
That was a powerful kick, but Zelner, I may have hurt him more than he's showing.
He's still coming forward, throws a nice body kick. And you know what, when you throw a kick like that or a punch and you land it flush and your opponent literally is not affected at all, that could do a little damage to your ego, take your confidence away a little bit. And I just don't know what Zelner is made of. This guy is a walking zombie.
Vizcarra with the game plan. He hasn't been stationary. Moves to his left, catches it to the right, sticks and move. It's working. This is a much better round for him.
I agree. He's landing a lot more this round. He's got his confidence, and with Zelner not throwing takedowns as much, he's able to land. Now, that was a nice combo there by Zelner, but then here we go with the body kicks again from Vizcarra. I'm telling you, every time Vizcarra comes forward, he has tremendous success. When he backs up, that's when Zelner gets him against the cage. They start throwing punches.
Oh,
another question mark kick to the back of the head right there. Vizcarra is on the money this round.
That one hurt Zelner, and now Zelner moving back as he got on the inside of the leg. It's a different Ramon Vizcarra. A much more successful one. He has made an adjustment. It's working.
And this is what's so great about MMA. One round you could be down, the next round could be completely different. That right kick that he keeps landing upstairs, and then he fakes it and goes low to the body. Vizcarra can keep going to the legs if he wants. He is landing everything every time he comes forward. I feel like a broken record. He's having so much success.
Zelner has lowered his chin and pinned the ears back and gone towards Vizcarra, but after being hit a couple times, especially with those kicks, he's not walking into them the same way. Still in pursuit here with a minute 15 to go in round 2.
Now what I saw that was interesting there was Vizcarra faked going high. Zelner put up his guard, but he left his body exposed, and then Vizcarra hit him with the body kick. But right now, Zelner again showing as if nothing's bothering him, walking forward, still landing tremendous power. That could threaten a knockout at any point. This has been a heck of a round, Max.
And we could be all even after 2 rounds if we get there. The uppercut attempt was foiled by Zelner. He takes it to the ground into Vizcarra's guard. We saw Zelner with some success in the first round when the fight went to the ground.
You know what? And I thought that was a smart move. He was getting tapped up a little bit with the kicks. He was not winning the striking battle. I thought that was smart. He's got to be a little bit careful here. He's getting a little bit reckless with his arms and his legs. Vizcarra is pretty much putting himself in a position to not get hit. Very smart from the bottom. You know, he could use this to sweep. Right now, it looks like he's just going to try to hold out to end the round. But if I'm Zelner in the next round, if it gets there, which I think it should, I want to utilize my wrestling because that kick is just landing too much for Vizcarra.
Vizcarra pretty resourceful here as he gets his legs inside the arm and maybe an armbar attempt.
You know what? Even if he threatening the submission's one thing, but he's landing strikes and it's getting Zelner to play defense from up top. Great round from Vizcarra. Before we even see what the judges have to say, I'm going 10-9 Vizcarra. I think we're 1-1 going into the third round.
I like it. That's why he's the betting expert. He's throwing it out there. We'll see if he's right. And if you follow Ian, you know he's right more often than not. If you weren't, you wouldn't be a betting expert, quite frankly.
I agree.
You've got to deliver.
Yeah, no, I got to be right a lot more than I can be, and so far so good. This has been an incredible fight so far. What a difference in the two rounds.
Yeah.
First round was all Zelner.
180-degree shift.
Yeah, I mean, you know, listen, Zelner still came out in the beginning of the round, was landing those shots. He throws them very low, lands here with that left hook. Vizcarra staying in the pocket, but then the story of this round was those kicks. I think he even surprised himself right there. You know, the takedown from Zelner was smart. It was very safe. But I liked what Vizcarra did when he was on his back. He tied up his arm. He may not have been threatening a submission there, but he was landing a lot of strikes. He was not taking any damage, and I think that secured him the round.
I would agree with you, and if it is the case, it prepares us for a third round with everything on the line. Zelner made it look pretty easy, and look at Vizcarra. He looks like a confident fighter. He was got that little mouse under his left eye, but the punches from Zelner, which were connecting in the first round, just could not find the right range in round two. Now, the question is, does Vizcarra make another adjustment? Or does he do what worked for him in round two? Good kick upstairs.
If he's not confident after that second round and saw what was working for him, because the blueprint is there, then I don't know what else a coach can tell their fighter. Come forward, keep throwing the strikes, lead out with your kicks. It is working. Do not back up, stay lateral, and keep throwing that right high kick. And as you watch, even with the low kick right there, he's either dropping his arm or keeping it high. That body's being exposed. Look at all the markings right there on Zelner's left side.
And you were mentioning, is Vizcarra going to be confident after round two? 100% he is. Sticks and he moves, and he is connecting every time. Well, one judge agreed with you, and that puts Vizcarra in a very precarious situation. And Ian just dropped back in a big way. I thought that was Vizcarra's round two.
I am very confused with that. I do not know how Zelner won that round. You know, if you're giving the takedown as the deciding factor, yeah, he took him down, but Vizcarra was landing all the damage from the bottom and threatening a submission. Whoever scored at 19-19 to that judge, I think you're the correct one. But now this puts Vizcarra, like you said, in a different place. He now has to go for the finish. And look, those kicks are landing. Maybe it could happen, but he just has to press forward.
And that information is available to the corners. They could or could not have told Vizcarra. The way he started the third round, I would imagine they did tell him. But he may need more than just winning this round. He has to win this convincingly or finish this fight in round three.
If I'm the corner, I'm telling Vizcarra, go balls to the wall. You have to come forward, throw everything you have into it. Because look, the likelihood of him getting a 10-8 round against a guy like Zelner, not likely, because Zelner can rely on his wrestling. He can stall. He could get into the clinch. Vizcarra has got to separate immediately and start throwing those kicks, landing his combinations, and not doing what just happened here.
You got to be careful. Vizcarra is not a guy with knockout power. In his 3 victories, he does have 2 submission wins. That may be his best bet, and if Zelner comes down to this, perhaps Vizcarra can work with something. We already saw that armbar attempt in round 1, and again, a quasi one in round 2.
Right now, Vizcarra is in a tough position against the cage, not where to go. I like that he's moving around. He's still throwing strikes, but the strikes is not going to get him the win. He has to stand up, which he's now trying to do. He's got to separate. He's got to get back the distance and land those kicks.
Big knees, Vizcarra. Zelner leaning in, putting all his weight. He is the bigger fighter, although Vizcarra is doing all the output. Now some uppercuts.
It's amazing to me that Zelner, just every time he gets hit, he gives it right back just as hard. It looks like nothing affects him whatsoever. Very impressive tonight from him. This has been an exciting fight, but he's putting himself in a lot of bad positions, just throwing with reckless abandon in those 50-50 shootouts. If I'm him, I'm wrestling to try to secure the win, now knowing that he's up on the scorecard.
As we said, the same could be told by Zelner. as a situation with the cards. Vizcarra's looking really good. I don't know if he's a 145-pound fighter. I mean, if he fights guys like Zelner, it's just got a lot to overcome size-wise.
I agree. He seems very undersized, or Zelner is oversized for the division. One of the two. You know, I do like what Vizcarra is doing. He should have did this in round one. We talked about this, that body was open with those kicks each time. It's great that he's throwing it now. Maybe he can get this round. I don't know. Right now, to me, I think Zelner is kind of just doing way more. That takedown was a lot. Nasty body kick right there. Zelner's putting on a very well-rounded performance. And now, as we know, Vizcarra is down on the cards. He's not showing a ton of urgency. Maybe he's saving his energy for that last minute, but he's got to do something really soon.
David Zelner, 2-0. Looking to stay undefeated. Much better third round from him, even though two judges saw him winning round two.
Still confused by that, Max. I don't know what they saw in that round, that they felt he decisively won that, but great comment from Vizcarra. He has to push forward. He's not going to win the fight on points.
By the way, we talked to Ramon Vizcarra and how he thought this fight was going to go. He says, I want to be blunt. I'm looking for a knockout in the third round. Well, he has 50 seconds.
I was going to say, he still has under a minute to get it done, but he's got to throw more volume here. Kicks to the body. Yeah, he got hit right there hard by Zelner. He even acknowledged it.
And that's got him all groggy. Has to get out of dodge. Route one there from Zelner. 30 seconds to go in this fight.
I like the kicks that he's throwing. I would have liked it a lot better in the first round. He's not going to finish Zelner with a body kick. The way he's fighting, I'm almost feeling like the corner is not telling him he's down, because I'm not seeing a lot of punches being thrown. He keeps leaning out with that right kick. And again, it's a nice kick. It's landing, but it's not fight ending. Zelner's just putting out way too much volume in this round.
Oh, good left.
Landing the shots. Zelner, to me, is putting a bow on this right now.
It's a good performance by Ramon Vizcarra, but it looks like he's going to be the hard luck loser again. As Zelner, too big, too strong, too uncompromising, and it would appear he's on his way to 3-0. David Zelner looking pretty confident that he has the decision here. Ramon Vizcarra, hats off to him. But it appears he may be heading for his third straight defeat.
The question is, will Zelner smile with the win? I would hope so. That was a good performance.
Are you going to lay a line on this?
Over under 1.5 smiles if he gets the win.
Let's find out.
Tarjetas idénticas de 29-28. Judges Lázaro and Sellers turned in identical scores of 29-28. Y el juez Toledo anotó 30-27. Judge Toledo scores it 30-27. All in favor of the winner by way of unanimous decision. Los tres a favor del vencedor por decisión unánime. DZ Machine, David Zelner.
See the pearly whites. One of those judges gave that third round to Ramon Vizcarra. It was a 29-28 on two cards. So he only got the one judge to go 30-27.
You know, I'm a little confused by that. I thought Zelner won that round, and I thought he lost the round before. That judge saw a complete opposite, and at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Zelner got it done. He did enough. He led the dance in the striking. He kept coming forward. He made use of the takedowns. He advanced his position. He went for strikes. He looked great in this fight.
And he popped a smile for everyone at home, and I'm sure the folks back at Merritt Island are pumped. Folks who got him prepared for this, and you know, 2-0 is great. 3-0 just carries a lot more weight to it. Now he can see what's next in a division that is absolutely stacked. Really, that is the sweet spot for Combate Global. I would even include the flyweights, 125, 135, 145. As we look at the stats, I think I may have been for the third round. Either or, water under the bridge. Hands together for David Zelner. We will continue our action. The main card off and running here at Combate Global. Leonardo Chimmy Morales, Marlon Gonzalez. Fighting for the first time for Combate Global. He did fight back in the day for Combate Americas. And now Marlon Gonzalez, a closer look at the Peruvian hitman.
Yo era taekwondista desde los 7 hasta los 18 años y ahí hice mi primer pelea de MMA profesional y me gustó y empecé desde ahí, dije, tengo que empezar a pelear más. Mi estilo de pelea es rápido, explosivo, me gusta dar el espectáculo, me gusta llegar a finalizar con bastante movimiento.
¡Chimmy!
Me motiva que en el MMA no hay nada seguro, ¿verdad? Así que solo tenemos que echar el corazón y todo puede pasar en ese momento. Siempre llevo la intención de finalizar a mi oponente y nunca dejo de creer que va a pasar. Pero un oponente bien aguerrido, entre más dura la pelea, más grande es la victoria, así que tiene que cuidarse mucho porque voy a tirarle con todo.
To the head-to-head, Gonzalez 1 year the senior, Morales 2 inches taller, although an inch and a half via the reach. For the Peruvian, we are at the 145-pound featherweight division. Leonardo Morales comes in with a little weight to spare. See if that benefits him as we go to Lupe Contreras.
Este es el duelo estelar de esta noche. This is the main event. 3 rounds in the featherweight division. 3 vueltas división peso pluma. Los jueces son, the judges are Byron Sellers, Dorian Mirasola y James Lázaro. Y ahora, damas y caballeros, llegó el momento de un combate global. Presentando la esquina azul, vestido de azul con blanco, presenting the blue corner, wearing blue with white, detuvo la báscula a un peso oficial de 143 libras y media. He tipped the scales at an official 143.5 pounds en 16 combates. Mantiene un récord de 10 victorias y 6 derrotas en 16 pro bouts. He maintains a record of 10 victories against 6 losses. De Managua, Nicaragua, 100% Nicoya, Leonardo Chimmy Morales. Su contrario en la esquina roja, vestido de rojo, his opponent in the red corner, wearing red. Su peso oficial, 145 libras y 3 cuartos, his official weight, 145.75 pounds. En su 33º combate a nivel profesional, con 15 victorias, 5 derrotas y 2 empates. He enters la jaula in his 23rd pro bout with 15 victories against 5 losses and 2 bouts even. Representando a Lima, Perú, Marlon Derico 7 Gonzalez. El referee, Andrew Glenn.
Andrew Glenn the third inside la jaula.
All right, gentlemen, got the rules. Any questions? Follow my instructions, protect yourself. I'll tell you to stop or break doing me. Touch them if you want. Step back ready at the bell.
2 very interesting nicknames here. Leonardo Chimmy Morales, Marlon Derico 7 Gonzalez.
Ready? Ready.
It is Gonzalez in red. Chimmy Morales, the nickname came, he was the only kid in the house, so they call him Chimmy Ringo. They shorten it. We'll have to probably go to Nicaragua for the significance of that nickname. Derico 7, the number for Gonzalez. It's his favorite number, but it's a number that has been a lot in his life, whether it's birth dates that he doesn't want to remember, where tragic moments happen. But he hangs on to it as a badge of courage as he lays the lumber for the first time, coming high on Morales.
That's the second kick that Chimmy's landed to that outside, to the inside leg right now of Gonzalez, and that last one stung. If he keeps doing that, he can take away the power early from Gonzalez. I like that Chimmy is staying poised. I like that he just do that jab, but that kick was nasty.
Leonardo Chimmy Morales, 8-5, 5 TKO victories, 2 via submission. However, back-to-back losses that went to the decision. Those are his only 2 fights in combate. Does he get a little more aggressive and show the power he had prior to his arrival here? He's closed in there, forced up against the cage by Gonzalez.
I really like what he's doing with that inside leg kick. You can already see it's bothering Gonzalez because when he throws that right cross, he's not able to turn his hips, he's not able to put his feet into it that much, or the legs. So right now, by Chimmy going inside for the 4th time, he's going to be setting up that left cross, and he can even go high with that left leg if he feels like it, because it will be there if he keeps hurting the legs of Gonzalez.
Gonzalez power kick into the ribs. A little uncomfortable there for Morales. You don't want to take too many of those. He returns fire. Marlon Gonzalez, 15-5, most of those fights in South America. 6 TKO wins, 2 via the submission. But again, it's been a long layoff. He last fought December 2019. That was a loss to Hracho Gutierrez. Prior to that, in May, he beat Chilean legend Pablo Villaseca via decision in an old Chile versus Peru matchup.
You know, I really like what Morales is doing here. He's not forcing anything, and, you know, he felt the power right there. Gonzalez threw that one high kick. That was blocked, but we talked about it earlier. That still hurts the shoulders and the arms. I like that Chimmy's mixing it up, getting into the clinch. Although he was winning the striking battle, Gonzalez started pressuring, moving forward, and it's okay to switch gears, slow it down a little bit. I'm impressed with Morales staying a little bit more methodical here.
Yeah, good game plan as he does get in the clinch. He maintains the clinch. Shifting the head to see if he can get some striking range.
Yeah, if he wants, he can take that left knee, kind of step through. Now he lost the position, but if he can get back to the cage, as I say that, he gets reversed. For Gonzalez right now, the knees have been working. He's got to throw the knees to the thighs right now. He doesn't look like he's really setting anything up. He kind of looks a little confused in this position. You know, as a striker and not a grappler, you can kind of see that with him. But for Chimmy, he's got to get out of this position. Gonzalez looks like the bigger guy, and those knees are available to him with the ribs whenever he wants it. So Chimmy's going to look to circle out and try to get back to distance here.
Gonzalez is a strong customer and now looking more comfortable in the clinch as he reversed it, putting Morales' back on the cage.
He has his hands clapped, so if he wants to step in and try to sweep, he might be able to do so. But right now, Chimmy's got the underhook. He's got to look to reverse at some point. He's got to get off the cage.
Marlon Gonzalez, who was also a participant in the 2019 Copa Combate, knocked out in the quarterfinals by the eventual winner, Bullet Quintana, who was representing the United States that day. He's normally fought as a lightweight. That tournament was in the lightweight division.
And right now, he looks like a lightweight. He looks like the bigger guy in the cage at the moment. You know, I think our ref here might separate them and create a little distance. A lot of clinching going on, not a lot of action. You know, a lot of jockeying for head position, which happens quite often. But if they don't go for takedowns, if they don't try to move, I expect them to separate soon. And they do it themselves, so there you go.
By the way, the Copa Combate, that'll be coming up later this year. 2018 edition, won by Quintana, was in Fresno. 2019, remember, it was in Lima, Peru, and Humberto Bandenay, fellow Peruvian, victorious there.
Chimmy with a nice left, kick was blocked. Gonzalez showed it didn't matter, then comes right back at him with a knee and back into the clinch against the cage.
By the way, just to correct that, Copa in 2018 was in the featherweight division, although we have seen Marlon fight at 155. They'll remain in the clinch, 30 seconds to go here in the opening round.
Right now, it's a really close fight. No one really has had the advantage. Both guys have landed kicks and strikes. I think Chimmy's had the better leg kicks, have been the more damaging in the fight, but a lot of clinch work with not a lot of strikes and damage.
That's going to probably run us through the duration of this first round. A lot to change in round two. Both these fighters pretty content to keep it here for the time being. But who makes the adjustments? Who comes out firing in the second round? In a first round, it's going to be very tight to call.
You know, I thought the more damaging strikes came from Chimmy Morales. I thought that he landed really nice inside leg kicks that bothered Gonzalez. You know, we saw the power of Gonzalez. He threw a lot of high kicks. They just didn't land. They were on the shoulders. When it came to the clinch game, I guess you could say that Gonzalez had the edge there, but he didn't throw anything. So I'm going to go out and limb here. I think that Morales got that round 10-9, but based on what we saw in the last fight with the judges, who knows?
Who knows? And we'll get the answer to that. And this is no minor detail. This first round obviously sets the tempo for the rest of this fight, sets the cadence. Getting ready for round number 2. Max Bretos and Ian Parker here with all the action on a Friday night. Marlon Gonzalez and Leonardo Chimmy Morales, neither really able to show much of their game plan in the first round. If one of them seemed to do it a little bit more, you seem to think it was Morales, which could help him in, which is going to be a seismic first round. It was close, though.
It was close. I just felt that the inside leg kicks were the most damaging ones. He just landed one right there that Gonzalez did not like. And here was what I thought was interesting. The pace wasn't as frantic as we thought it was going to be. Both guys look great cardio-wise, not breathing heavy. But against what we suggested, what we thought would happen, they're back in the clinch.
Yeah, we felt it from Morales as he does get the takedown. You felt the pressure in this fight because you knew they said, well, we get a main event here. Do we get to get a taste of this if we lose? Probably not. So a lot of pressure on these two fighters, and obviously added onto it for Gonzalez, who has not fought since 2019. And it's starting to show in the way this fight is going.
I agree, and I really like what Chimmy did right there. Gonzalez went for the takedown, Chimmy reversed, but he's got to take advantage here. He's got to stay on the back. Don't let him stand up. I like that he's got to hook it right there. He's got to slip right behind, and Gonzalez gets up. He's got to circle out. And now look, for Chimmy right now, he can stay on the back here. He can land these, and he can stay under control.
But Leonardo Morales does get the 2-1 in favor of the judges.
They made it up to me from the last fight, right?
29-28. They'll take that. Chimmy Morales has got the wrist control, turning in Gonzalez.
But I like what Chimmy's doing. You know what? That first round we talked about was very close, could have went either way, and he is pressing the action. Every time he waited, that's when Gonzalez came forward, was able to land. He carries a lot of power. So if you close the distance, you force the clinch, even force the ground game, you take away the power of Gonzalez. And between the two, I think the grappling does favor Chimmy.
Chimmy Morales in the blue. These are two strikers, accomplished strikers. We haven't seen that rise out here in this matchup. It's been pretty much this, inside the clinch. We talk about Morales and what his history with the knockout. Marlon Gonzalez trains at Saria Inca Fighter. And many of you may know about Miguel Saria, a world champion in kickboxing from Peru.
Yeah, you know what? To your point with the kickboxing, I'm a little surprised he's willing to stay in the clinch. If I'm Gonzalez here, I am controlling. I'm landing some knees. There's no strikes being landed. I would separate, go back the distance, try to work my kickboxing game. Because right now, he's not scoring here. Nothing's really happening. And he's giving Morales an opportunity to potentially get a back sweep if he could just remove his hips a little bit.
Heard that big scream. I believe it was from Gonzalez. He tried to toss Morales, who's now got his back to the jaula. Andrew Glenn taking a look, maybe considering to break them up. Not much action here, 2 minutes 20. The Morales corner like that in the separation.
Every time it gets close, that's when they separate and someone lands an elbow. It's amazing.
Oh, good peppering of the jab, inside kick again.
That kick has been for him all day. It's been his bread and butter. If he can throw that and keep that jab going, he'll keep Gonzalez on his back foot. Right now, Morales is winning this round.
And I think he knows that. If he can get in that position and drive into that lead leg again, straight jab, Morales.
The only thing he hasn't done is he hasn't shot from the inside here. If he does a double jab and shoots it for a double leg and puts Gonzalez on his back, he would probably secure the round. But he's having a lot of success on the feet. I really love that inside kick. He got tagged right there.
Short
so he's got to stay a little composed and keep his hands up when he throws that kick.
Good, strong left hand right down the clown's mouth, as Juliana Pena used to say for Morales.
I like that, clown's mouth. That's a good one.
It reminds you of going back to the carnival.
I like it.
Back into the clinch for a moment, and Morales gets the underhook.
For Gonzalez here, if he's going to keep going into the clinch, he's got to utilize his time here. He's got to throw knees, he's got to try and hurt the legs, throw knees to the body. Otherwise, he's just wasting time, which could be down 2-0 at the end of this round.
By the way, Marlon Gonzalez, starting his political career, he's a candidate for district councilor in San Martin de Porre, a community seat where he wants to help his community. Good luck to him in the polls. Under a minute to go, round two. A little sweep that didn't quite work for Gonzalez. Not much has.
Andrew Glenn, he's right back in there.
He's looking.
He's looking. He's giving them a little bit of time. I think he's waiting to see if someone's going to open up. But every time he sneaks in there, someone throws an elbow and separates. Let's see if the third time is a charm.
It's kind of like when you're with your friends in your room and you hear your mom coming up the steps. You go right back there. Oh, it's all good. Andrew Glenn maybe considering it again, changing levels here. Gonzalez, actually for the first time we've really seen him do that.
I'm a little surprised that Gonzalez is staying here. He's not having any success with the takedowns. He's not landing any knees. There was a nice body shot right there from Chimmy. If I'm Gonzalez, I need to separate. I need to get the kicks going and work my striking in there because that's where he will get it.
And you need these fighters to really turn. So much at stake. It's okay to be patient, but at some point you gotta go. Go grab the ring. We're heading to a round 3. Getting ready for round 3, and it's up to the fighters to take the initiative here. If they get in the clinch again, does the referee allow it? But it's there. A win is on the offer. We'll see if Marlon Gonzalez does get the edge in the second round. That will certainly adjust his strategy, but we saw the corner of Marlon Gonzalez. They were like, wake up!
I agree, and you know what? If he forces this clinch, I think the ref, Andrew Glenn, cannot stand there and stare. He's got to separate them. We've seen enough of the clinch game with no knees, no anything. Separate them, force these guys to fight. This is the main event, and they need to start fighting like one.
Into the clinch again, Andrew Glenn circles around.
I'm so confused by the strategy right now of Gonzalez. I want to see what the second round score was, because if Morales is up, Gonzalez is not fighting like someone with a sense of urgency or to win. And for Chimmy, he's got to circle out. And if I'm the referee, I am separating them immediately, because nothing's being shown here. One knee should not remain in the clinch. Separate these guys, let them stand and fight, and let's get this going.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Now these fighters really have to grasp the moment as they continue in the clinch, and maybe the referee has to get them to fight. We'll find out the scorecard here. It could make a big difference as that elbow drops.
Right now, a whole lot of nothing. I don't know what this ref is waiting for right now. He's talking to them, telling them to work. Separate them then. There we go. Good uppercut thrown by Gonzalez, shot him by Chimmy, and now back to space and distance. Now it's time for these guys to start throwing. Great inside kick. Morales throwing, nice combination there. If I'm Gonzalez, I am throwing everything I can. Another inside kick. That has been the bread and butter all night for Morales.
This is good when they are standing face-to-face, center of the jaula. Morales has the advantage. Gonzalez has to be aware of the fact that he's not winning here. Not addressing the wake-up call from his corner.
When you have an opportunity to be a main event after coming off a loss to your gap, and for Chimmy being 0-2 in his last 2 fights, you have to take advantage of every moment. Sitting in the clinch for this long is not going to do it. And right now, the referee's not doing them any favors. And as I predicted, Morales took round 2 on the scorecards. He is up. Gonzalez, no sense of urgency. He needs to separate and do something, or else he is going to lose this fight.
Right, look, this is not sitting well with the folks at Combate. This is where there's finally the separation, long overdue. But if you want to stay in Combate, you have to have the entertainment value. You have to go for it. We know the stakes are high, but you still have to provide and sit with the old adage, mucho más acción.
And Max, don't get me wrong, this card has been non-stop action, so the bar was set pretty high. Maybe we were spoiled early on, but there's no excuse for just sitting in the clinch. You have a main event spot on a platform like Combate. You need to fight like you want to be here. This is not how you win a fight when you're down to 0-2 rounds.
Again in the clinch, and we'll see if there's a shorter fuse here for Andrew Glenn in breaking these up. There's under 2 minutes to go. This is the final round. As it stands, Chimmy Morales is on his way to his first victory in Combate.
And still a lot of more clinching. You know, for Chimmy Morales, he's got to find a way to circle out, and just like that, he does it. Now, let's see if Chimmy, this is the first time he's been on the offensive in the clinch. I like that he's throwing some punches. I would like to see him change levels and go for the takedown there. It's right there. Gonzalez is sitting upright, not doing anything. And I hear the ref saying, let's work. We've heard this too many times. Force them to work, separate them, let's get this fight going.
They do work a bit, but they get right back. And Andrew Glenn, change of levels there, single leg here for Morales, taking the initiative. Gonzalez has done nothing for a fighter who fought, and his manager fought to get back here in the Combate good graces, hasn't shown that he is ready to be back in the spotlight.
And I don't mind Chimmy going for those takedowns. He's doing the right thing, changing the levels, but he wants to avoid the elbow. He could swing to the other side and shoot for an outside single, get the head against the hip, therefore he would have avoided the elbow. But now he's back into the clinch, and I just don't know what Gonzalez is doing. If I'm his coaches, I'm literally yelling, you are not winning. You need to go for broke. Sitting there hugging is not going to get you this win.
And Gonzalez, I mean, he may look at this tape and he'll kick himself. This was not the way he envisioned it. Chimmy Morales has kind of come down to the level to meet him here, but he's done a little bit more, and it's going to be the difference in winning and losing here with 25 seconds to go. Hit the knee, the corner of Morales says.
He's got to do a lot more than that in this position. Look, I don't even know if the coaches told them who was up or not, you know, because Morales isn't necessarily fighting like he's up 2-0 either. I think that Gonzalez been holding him a little too much. Nice spinning back kick to a roundhouse. And now Gonzalez going to try to go for both. Take that with Chimmy at the end, and
well, Chimmy Morales probably did enough. Not one for the Combate Global archives, but we'll be back with the official decision. We are back awaiting the official decision between Marlon Gonzalez and Chimmy Morales. I know our fearless leader, Campbell McLaren, not happy with that fight. He's on the horn. We have the little bat signal, and it's Campbell hitting the button, and we pass on the information.
The phone kept lighting up. Kept lighting up the entire fight.
Anotó 30-27 after 3 rounds. Judge Lázaro scores it 30-27. Y los jueces Mirasola y Sellers entregan tarjetas idénticas de 29-28. And judges Sellers and Mirasola turn in identical scores of 29-28. All in favor of the winner by way of unanimous decision. Los tres a favor del ganador por decisión unánime. Leonardo Chimmy Morales.
Well, it's a huge win for him. Personally, we sense the tension, and he did enough. He did more than Marlon Gonzalez, and at the end of the day, that's all that matters between winning and losing. Special fight coming your way. Don't go anywhere. Here live on Paramount Plus. Special encore performance of a fight between Yajaira Cunningham and Kayla Hracho. For Cunningham, some medical issues forced her out of the fight with Gloria Bravo tonight. Gloria Bravo joined the Univision broadcast team, so she's calling the action in Spanish. We don't know what's next for her. We don't know what's next for Yajaira Cunningham. Missing weight and then having this issue is problematic. Kayla Hracho, her opponent, we are ready to bring you all the action. Kayla Hracho, you actually were on the horn with her and see maybe if she could take a fight. She was ready to come.
You know what? Campbell said, hey, you think Kayla would be able to do this? I said, if you call Kayla right now, she will drive over here, suit up, put the gloves on, make weight, and fight. That's who Kayla Hracho is. She's a warrior. She's got that fighting spirit, and you're going to see it right here in La Hala.
It is Cunningham in black, representing Nicaragua. Already a victory for a Nicaraguan fighter. This is from the Combate library.
It's a nice jab right there from Hracho. Right again, that jab is sticking every single time. I like her head movement, I like her lateral movement. She's going towards the right cross, which is a little interesting. Usually you go to the other side, but she's the boxing pro, not me, so I'll trust her judgment with that.
In the fight, it was going to be in a weight category that was unknown for Yajaira Cunningham, having to drop to 105 at the atom weight, normally 115. Missed the weight by a lot, and now hope all is well. Hope to get a report there. We will pass it on to you here with regards to the status of Cunningham.
It's interesting to see. Cunningham's not really moving much, not throwing a ton. It's only the second kick she's thrown. Hracho's doing a lot of good movement, coming in and out, showing a lot of feints. Nice jab cross right there. You hear Kayla Harrison in the corner of Kayla Hracho.
See her in the background, right? Hracho just passed by her point of view.
Come on, fight. You're being timid.
Raul Porata, the referee, very pointed with his directions.
Very different from the ref we had last fight, huh? This one's telling them after punching, you're being timid.
You don't want to be timid. This is not the sport to be timid.
I don't think I would say that to a fighter ever, but you know what? I'm not in the cage.
Well, Raul Porata goes to the beat of a different drummer. Positive reinforcement from the activity of Hracho.
Look, she's throwing combinations, she's sticking the jab, she's getting in and out, just like Kayla Harrison's telling her. And Cunningham's not throwing a ton of volume, almost looking to counter with a power strike, but Kayla's standing at a nice distance, and she keeps using that jab.
Yajaira Cunningham has logged a lot of action here. She is known as La Pantera Negra. This is her 5th fight in Combate. She lost to Ana Palacios, and she said in her pre-fight interview, she wants another shot at Palacios, so maybe that's a fight that happens. I would say Ana Palacios could be an opponent for Gloria Bravo moving forward, perhaps at the 115. She beat Yvette del Carmen, that was back in June of 2021. A very active fighter, did lose to Crisaida Adames in August in the last Latina standing tournament. And
nice left hook right there. Hracho's throwing some good punches. We've seen Cunningham land a few power shots. The power seems to be equally distributed between both ladies. You know, right now it's the volume of Hracho, so it's the power. There's a nice shot right there, in on a single.
Kayla K-Rock Hracho, originally from Reading, Pennsylvania. This was her Combate Global debut.
So right there in the scramble, you saw Cunningham was able to shift her hips, get on top. Otherwise, it was a good takedown from Hracho. She heard everything that Kayla Harrison said, but unfortunately, the momentum took her over, and now Cunningham is on top.
Cunningham very active, able to curl around here. Hracho responds, almost clears the guard.
Great reversal, now threatening with the guillotine. She's not gonna get the submission here, but she could use it to sweep and get a little bit of a better position.
And she does. It's back to her feet. Listening to the coaching, that's always good to see if they respond well.
I love what Kayla's doing right now. Kayla Harrison's throwing every single direction, and Hracho in no time is responding. It's great when you have a coach that you can listen to and a fighter that follows it right on tee.
Hracho getting to the back of Cunningham, and this is once catch as catch can. Both of them finding their chances into the midsection, turn towards the back. Cunningham very elusive.
That was a great sprawl right there from Hracho. I think Cunningham, we could see the size and powers in her favor, but Hracho with a great sprawl. She spun around the back, reverse got the takedown, and now on top. Right now, she's got to figure out how to keep Cunningham down, because you can see Cunningham's not threatening any submissions here. She is using just her size and her power. You definitely see the size difference here, but Hracho's doing a great job of controlling. Again, back to the guillotine. She actually hasn't sunk in right here. If she can lift up and kind of get her hips in, she could threaten with it. Again, right now it's more of a control. That almost looked like a tap.
And might be getting closer to winning this round. Very competitive here as Hracho gives it one last squeeze in the guillotine attempt. She'll have to wait for round two.
Ready?
Good matchup. Certainly appears like that in every category. Both fighters inventive in their attempts to get the upper hand. Close call at the end of the day here as we put a bow here on our card here on Paramount Plus.
The narrative of this round was the power of Cunningham with the output of Kayla Hracho. Hracho got the single there, but as we saw, Cunningham was able to reverse it. Later on in the round, Kayla was able to then get on top. She had several takedowns herself, controlled, threat with the guillotine. Pretty close round, depending on how you scored. I would have given it to Kayla Hracho here. I thought the control, the takedowns, at the end of the round, she went for a submission. Tight fight.
Good fight. Could have gone either way. And what an incredible fighter to have in the corner. We talk about Kayla Harrison in the corner of Hracho.
Ready? Ready?
Now we prepare for round two. Hracho in the blue. Some boxing, some wrestling in her game for Hracho, who is been training MMA for 5 years. Training at American top team, pardon me, with a lot of incredibly talented fighters.
She trains with the best of the best over there. She's got Joanna over there, Marina Moreau. She's trained with Carolina Kamachevich, who's fighting this weekend. She's got a lot of great support system over there. So, you know what they say, the hardest part is the training and the sparring. When it comes to that gym, I absolutely believe it.
And that has to be such a huge advantage, just because you can see it, and that, what they say is it brushes off on you. You see an elite fighter, you take a peek over there, what they're working on. All that goes into the memory banks. There's some blood now on the nose of Hracho.
Yeah, Cunningham landed a nasty punch. It landed clean. She's got Kayla bleeding right now. You know, again, the power of Cunningham is very apparent there. She keeps landing. For Hracho, I think she's got to go back to the wrestling, get this fight to the ground.
Wrestling, she had a lot of success. Again, she was a world amateur boxing champion before making the move to MMA. You can see that very polished stance. Trying to close the gap. Good left hand by Cunningham. She got there first. That splatters the blood a little bit on the face of Hracho. Already a minute and change in round 2. Just can't find the range to catch Cunningham.
It's a nice jab right there, but Cunningham's power seems to be kind of taking over in this fight right now, Max. For Kayla, I would be circling away from that right hand, which she's starting to do. Go back to that outside single where she had success and try to put it on her back, because right now the power of Cunningham is showing on the face of Hracho.
Cunningham, who has a well-documented story where she really rose from the ashes, breaking her neck in 2013 after getting suplexed in training. Doctor said, "You're not going to walk again." Was paralyzed. 2 plates in front, 1 in the back. She battled back, and this is a minor miracle that you're seeing. What is on your screen right now is Yajaira Cunningham fighting at this level.
I would say she's doing better than walking here. To be able to compete professionally in mixed martial arts, when you're told you're not going to walk, that's as impressive as it gets. Couple of great knees there from Hracho, then overhand right, and Cunningham lands a nice power shot.
Good combination from Hracho. Turned into a good stand-up fight.
Out of all the voices out there, all I'm hearing is Kayla Harrison, and it's got to be so nice for Hracho to hear her coach over and over again, because she's giving her exactly the right directions. She's telling her when to shoot, and Hracho's doing it, and it's working. It's keeping Cunningham guessing.
She said Yajaira Cunningham's tired. I don't see it yet, but maybe she certainly has a better perspective than we do. And Hracho looking the more active. Maybe he's got the better motor. Maybe he's got a little more wind in her sails.
She might, but she's taking a lot of damage here. That right hand from Cunningham seems to really land a lot when it does, with a lot of power. I agree, Max. I don't really see her getting tired. Not that I want to argue with Kayla Harrison ever, and because I'm not doing this sitting right next to her, we can do that. But, you know, right now, just the power of Cunningham seems to be the narrative of this round.
Hracho very active, takes the center of the jaula. Cunningham moves around, looking for another victory here in Combate Global, June 25th of last year, defeating Yvette del Carmen. Won by a shoulder choke. And again, been very active, trying to build the women's brand in a variety of weight classes, whether at 105 all the way up to 125. We have seen the numbers, certainly with our Spanish language audience. Huge percentage are women, and the numbers to see women fight through the roof.
Hracho is showing a lot of toughness here. She's taking a lot of shots. Good head movement still, but it's showing on her. She's wearing it right now. She's got almost the crimson mask going on. Cunningham, both women are not breathing heavy, putting on a great pace. The toughness of Hracho, second to none, but Cunningham's power, this is a tall task in this weight class.
He's a strong fighter, whether it's at atom weight, which unfortunately wasn't able to make the weight for Gloria Bravo. Certainly here, big forearm catches Cunningham coming from Hracho, stays very active. We're under a minute to go in round 2.
Cunningham is waving her in. She wants a firefight. If I'm Hracho, I completely ignore it. I stick to the jab. I listen to my coach and Kayla Harrison. Because, yeah, Cunningham's been landing some shots, but the volume, the output, definitely on the side of Hracho. This round, I'm leading Cunningham. If it ends the way it's been going, I think it's 1-1. A nice shot from both ladies right there.
Good reach there by Hracho. Catches with the jab. Now combinations. 15 seconds to go. Cunningham muscles in. Hracho forces her back.
10 seconds.
Has been able to stop the blood flow, too, coming from her nose. Big kick by Cunningham. We're heading to round 3. And now it comes up to round 3. 2 very tightly contested rounds. Everything to fight for in this third. Neither able to separate from their opponent.
Kayla landed a nice jab right there. She was getting in and out. I don't know which punch caused the bloody nose, but it definitely affected her a little bit as she's wearing it. She kept coming forward, though. There is no weakness in her. She keeps fighting. I like the double leg right there. Unfortunately, she couldn't get it to the ground, but I think she needs to go back to her wrestling, because when she does that, it takes away the power. Cunningham's just landing way too much, and that left kick right there was pretty nasty.
And the problem for Hracho with the bloody nose is it becomes an issue. You're constantly wiping it. That's a distraction, which can't really help you stay locked in. Big, deep breath for Hracho. She tries to clear
Ready?
Her breathing there. Again, that's been a real nuisance, having to wipe the blood. It looks like they've been able to control it, but we shall see if it emerges again in round 3. Hracho in blue. Good short right by Cunningham. She goes in.
Nice double jab right there. It lands with an overhand right. She has to bounce in and out. Kayla Harrison is absolutely correct here. When she stays in too long, that's when she's getting caught. When she throws that jab and bounces out, she creates a distance, and Cunningham then can't touch her. Nice front kick that we saw for the first time right there from Cunningham.
Yeah, and that put Hracho out for sure. Didn't have to listen. Good right hand, Hracho. Good right hand there from Cunningham.
These women are not messing around, throwing hard punches. They are not stopping. I love the pace.
It's a great fight, and they are both taking some punches to give some.
Nice combo on a counter right there from Hracho. I like the lead uppercut coming in from Cunningham. It missed, but it gives something for Hracho to think about. But Hracho's firing right back. This is a great fight, Max.
I'm not sure if the blood's continuing from the nose, but there's blood on the left side of the face of Hracho. May have been cut up right around the brow. But again, blood's going to be an issue. Keeps her head down, tucks in the nose, comes in with that jab, overhand left, connects.
The speed right now is definitely in favor of Hracho. Again, I love what Harrison is saying. Get in and out, throw your combos, and do not hang in the pocket. She hung in right there. She got tagged with the right. Hracho, even after she throws that double jab, shoot in right there, because right there, what a shot from Cunningham. There's the shot.
There's the level takedown. Side control, maybe an armbar.
That's it, nice.
What a great response there by Hracho.
Listen, if Kayla Harrison isn't one of the best fighters in the world, coaching-wise, I love what she's saying right here. When she means settle, Max, she is telling Kayla, calm down, get your position, stop worrying about going for the finish right now. Because right now, if you're able to control the fight for 3 minutes, and you're able to take your time, land some ground and pound, and then threaten for submission, you could easily win this fight. If she would have rushed and been overzealous, she could have lost position. I like what she's doing here. She's staying patient. She's got to get, but she, going into mounts and points, she's got to start landing some strikes.
That crucifix there for a moment, and big reach as Hracho does not want to be overturned here. Cunningham just so strong, even from the bottom. Slowly rising up. That left leg's going to be a problem, but she withdraws it. The knees were asked for, the knees were delivered. At least one was. Both fighters now throwing knees. And now some more aggressive nature from Cunningham, who's been the counterpuncher by and large. Warning from Raul Porata.
Where was this referee in the last fight? These women throw 3 punches, they don't fight for a second. He threatens to pull them apart. Kayla right now, she's in really deep. She's got a suck in, pull down. Another takedown for Kayla Hracho.
It looks like Hracho might be winning this fight. Going aloft. You've got to love the activity. She locks in the legs of Cunningham.
Right now, what she's got to do is she's got to get her left arm around and with the right hand and pull on the elbow to try and flatten her out. Otherwise, Cunningham can use the cage to stand back up. Kayla's trying to get to the other side, which is the right thing to do right here. Now she's going to go again. She's not. She's going for a guillotine right here. I hope she has it, because if not, she'll be giving up position in a pretty close fight.
And hard to pull that off late in the 3rd round with the sweat and they have some blood. And
I agree with you. That's always the hardest with the guillotine jumping guard, because as we talked about, if you lose it, you lose position in a bad situation with a really tough power puncher on top. If I was Hracho in that position, I would have used it to try to sweep or to try to stand and just get a better position. Now,
it's etched on her face, though, because you can see in hindsight she's realizing now maybe not the wisest decision. And now Cunningham has the high ground at 1:20 to drop some blows.
And this referee's not joking around. He's already telling Cunningham to do something, because, again, she's on top, she's got position, but she's doing absolutely nothing with it. Hracho's trying to escape. Interesting kick right there. Luckily, it was to the body. That was close to being illegal, but smart by Kayla to keep it to the body.
Cunningham needs to be working here. Needs to be working, because the fight is hanging in the balance.
If Kayla could bring that right leg forward and put it on the rib cage and then pull, she can use that as a sweep and then end up on top. The question is, does she have the gas to do it?
Some hammer blows from Cunningham. 40 seconds to go here in the final round. Hammer blows from the bottom from Hracho.
Come on, improve.
She's got to get her right arm free. It looks like, and there she goes. She pushes twice.
Down opponent.
She wants to go back down. Yeah, down opponent. You can't be, got to be careful with what you put out here. If you're Hracho, back into the guard goes Cunningham. Lots of blood now on that left side. Lots from Hracho. It's starting to flow.
Break it up.
They're going to break it up.
This referee I like this guy. He doesn't mess around.
Well, you should see him now. He's got a mustache. He looks amazing. You'll see him sometimes in the hotel lobby. And yeah, that is a separate cut for Hracho. Swinging for the fences time. Great fight. Both fighters have a claim, but who will see their arm raised in the end? Is it Yajaira Cunningham? Kayla Hracho. Find out next.
Después de completar 3 vueltas, esta es la decisión oficial after going 3 rounds. The official scorecard reads as follows. El juez Lázaro anotó 29-28 a favor de Hracho. Judge Lázaro scores it 29-28 in favor of Hracho. El juez Toledo 29-28 a favor de Cunningham. Judge Toledo scores it 29-28 in favor of Cunningham. Y el juez Gómez anotó 29-28. Judge Gómez scores it 29-28. In favor of the winner, by way of split decision, a favor de la vencedora, por decisión dividida, la Pantera Negra, Yajaira Cunningham.
Kayla Hracho looking back at Lupe when she heard it was a split decision. You could feel like impending doom. She knew she probably should have won it via the unanimous cards. It was a very close fight. Campbell McLaren going inside the howler, but the victory going to Yajaira Cunningham.
Look, it was a close fight. Round 1 went to Hracho. Round 2, I felt went to Cunningham. Round 3, I'm a little confused.
Pretty convincing for Hracho.
I thought it was Hracho. Look,
the 2 takedowns. Yeah.
The 2 takedowns, the control. You know, are you going to punish her for going for a guillotine? I don't think so, because she gave up position, but only with about 50 seconds left. When she was on top, she did damage. I thought she landed just as many strikes. You know, I'm not going to say robbery here because it was a close fight, but I scored that for Hracho.
We'll be back at it next Friday. Earlier start time for our international audience, but same start time for the Paramount Plus. We will have Marcos Lloreda, El Conquistador. He's been a tremendous talent as he will face Marcus Edwards. 9 of 13 wins, TKO or submission. It's going to be a tough test for Lloreda, the no-nonsense Miami kid representing España. Sanda kickboxing champion Alfredo Chato Lopez also on the card. We are looking forward to seeing him in Saldahala. Everything we hear about him is that he is special. That's all coming your way next Friday. We are out of time. Ian, a good time. Late nights with me. It could be worse, no?
It could be worse. I had a great time. The fights were fantastic. You were fantastic. I loved Combate. I loved being a part of it. Thank you guys for having me. What a great show. And man, that 6-second knockout, I will remember that for the rest of my life.
6-second knockout. Check it on the libraries of Paramount Plus on behalf of Ian Parker, Artie Izquierdo, Victor Bagué. My name is Max Pretos. Placido Domingo.